Good evening, everyone. A brief announcement. First of all, the live stream is not working. If you're trying to see this on your screens at home, you're not going to hear me say this. But I've been asked to announce it, even though you won't be able to hear it. But you can see us live on YouTube. So however they're going to do the magic to make that right, I have made the announcement. Now would everyone please rise and join me for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This is January 16th, 2023. This is the regular meeting of the Village Board. Clerk Brady, would you please make the roll call?
Sure. Trustee Vogel?
Here.
Trustee Papantos?
Present.
Trustee Vito?
Here.
Trustee Lang?
Here.
Trustee Kruger?
Present.
Trustee Rufato?
Here. President
Horker?
Here. You have before you the agendas. Are there any changes to the agenda?
There are no changes this evening.
Proclamations.
Oh, I have to.
Clerk Brady, please.
Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service, January 16, 2023. Whereas Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. devoted his life to advancing equality, social justice, and the opportunity for all, and challenged all Americans to participate in the never-ending work of building a more perfect union. And whereas Dr. King's teachings can continue to guide and inspire us in addressing challenges in our communities, and whereas the King Holiday and Service Act, enacted in 1994, designed the King Holiday as a national holiday of volunteer services and charged the Corporation for the National and Community Service with leading this effort. And whereas since 1994, millions of Americans have been inspired by the life and work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to serve their neighbors and communities on the King Holiday, and whereas serving on the King Holiday is an appropriate way to honor Dr. King, meet local and national needs, bring our citizens together, and strengthen our communities and nation, and whereas the King Day of Service offers an opportunity for Americans to give back to their communities on the holiday and make an ongoing commitment to serve throughout the year. And whereas King Day of Service projects are organized by the wide range of nonprofit, private businesses, and other organizations across the nation. And whereas citizens of Wheeling have an opportunity to participate in events throughout Northern Illinois on the King Day of Service, as well as to create and implement community service projects where they identify the need. Patrick Corker, President of the Village of Wheeling, proclaims the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday as a day of service in Wheeling and calls upon the people of Wheeling to pay tribute to the life and works of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. through participation in community service projects and Martin Luther King Day and throughout the year.
Thank you, Clerk Brady. Citizens' concerns and comments?
None today.
Okey-doke. Staff reports. Mr. Svondillis, what do we have?
I believe this evening we will be presenting, as we do every year, some of the new laws that have been passed at the state level, and we choose those based on what we think is important to our community, both the residents and the businesses. Typically, they fall into two categories: ones that are most appropriately presented by our legal staff, and others that are laws that fall under the jurisdiction of the police department. So we have a little of both tonight. Attorney Furlow, would you like to begin?
Certainly. Thank you, Manager Svondillis. I will cover about 7 of the new laws. Just for the general public and for the board, the Illinois Municipal League puts out a publication listing the new laws that take effect in 2023. There are about 12 pages. of new laws. We'd be here for a few hours going through all of them. I'm going to hit about 7 of them, and the chief will pick up, Chief Dunn, 3 or 4. The first one I want to cover relates to cannabis and expungements. Under the Criminal Identification Act passed a couple of years ago, minor marijuana offenses are allowed to be expunged upon petition. Public Act 102-0933 provides that notwithstanding any other provision of the law, a court shall not deny a petition for expungement or sealing because the petitioner has submitted a drug test taken within 30 days before the filing of the petition for expungement that indicates a positive test for the presence of cannabis within the petitioner's body. The basis of that law is the fact that cannabis is now legal, and that's being picked up in the change. Second law I want to cover relates to the Foreign Fire Insurance Board. This provides that foreign fire insurance companies shall pay a sum of 2% of the gross receipts received from fire insurance upon property situated within the municipality or district to the Foreign Fire Insurance Board, and it preempts municipal authority to make changes to this. Currently, or before this change, the law read that the foreign fire insurance tax can be up to 2%, which allowed a municipality to charge less than 2%. Wheeling has always charged 2%. This law now requires that all municipalities charge 2%. The money that's generated by that particular law is used for the maintenance, use, or benefit of the fire department, and is governed by what's termed as the Foreign Fire Insurance Board. That's made up of firefighters within the village. Third law I want to cover relates to the Occupational Safety and Health Act. This is the equivalent of OSHA for public employers. This law now has been toughened up in terms of penalties related to public employers like the Village of Wheeling. Before, the maximum for a violation or violations of this particular act was $10,000 maximum fine. Now, a civil penalty may be assessed of $10,000 per violation found against a public employer. This amendment also provides that an employee who brings to the attention of his supervisory staff what he or she deems to be an OSHA violation cannot be disciplined or penalized for taking such action. The next law relates to the Employee Sick Leave Act, Public Act 102-0817, provides that the rights afforded under the Employee Sick Leave Act must serve now as the minimum standard in a negotiated collective bargaining agreement. The Illinois Employee Sick Leave Act allows for the use of sick leave by an employee for what's defined as a qualified family member. A qualified family member includes a child, a stepchild, a spouse, a partner, a sibling, and there are several others. But again, the change relates to the fact that the provisions of that particular act must serve as a baseline when you start to negotiate a collective bargaining agreement. Next law is titled the Support Through Loss Act. This is a new law that provides that all employees in the state shall be entitled to use a maximum of 2 weeks, 10 work days of unpaid bereavement leave to be absent from work due to a miscarriage, an unsuccessful round of intrauterine insemination, or an assisted reproductive technology procedure, a failed adoption match, or an adoption that is not finalized because it is contested by another party, a failed surrogacy agreement, a diagnosis that negatively impacts pregnancy or fertility, or a stillbirth. It also provides that the employer, this includes private and public employers, may not require that the employee identify which category of event the leave pertains to as a condition of exercising rights under this act. Again, it's 10 work days of unpaid bereavement leave for these new categories. Then the final law that I want to cover relates to the removal of buckthorn. The Public Act 102-0840 provides that a municipality may adopt an ordinance to eradicate different varieties of buckthorn on all public and private property within its geographic boundaries. So those are the 6 or 7 laws I wanted to just bring to everyone's attention, but I do remind you that if you go to the Illinois Municipal League website, there's a 12-page publication that nicely summarizes all the laws that go into effect January 1st, 2023. Chief?
Thank you, Mr. Ferrolo. President Horker and trustees, I have a couple laws I'd like to bring to your attention. Public Act 102-0905, Victims of Carjackings Protection. It amends the Illinois Vehicle Code and it provides provisions concerning the administrative adjudication of violation of traffic regulations. To summarize it, if you're the victim of a carjacking, you will not be held responsible for red light camera tickets and speeding tickets through the automated systems. There's been carjackings are up so high that we now have to regulate what happens after they happen. School zone speed limits and fines. Public Act 102-0978 provides that special speed limits while passing school zones apply to local, county, and state roadways. The fines have been increased in a school zone from $150 to $250 for the first offense and $500 for a subsequent offense. They're also, I'm trying to find the information on it, but also if you pass a school bus with a stop arm violation, that would also require you to do public service. In addition, you just can't pay a fine and be done with it. You'd have to do some sort of public service. Those are the easy ones. The Safety Act update, Public Act 102-1104, which is supposed to finalize in January of 23, and the no cash bail that was supposed to go into effect has not, because it has been appealed to the Illinois Supreme Court. I don't believe the Supreme Court is going to take it up until March or April. What they did do in the act, they did clean up the language regarding language as far as what a dangerous person or dangerous standard would be, and they lowered the bar and took a little bit more parochial common sense approach to what someone might be held in jail for awaiting trial, as opposed to just no bail whatsoever. But again, we're going to have to wait. That has not been enacted. We're still held to the former standards, and the courts are. I went to a meeting 2 weeks ago with several judges, and the judges believe that they retain the Illinois constitutional right to set bail. The legislation does not have the right to impede on their decision-making in that area, and that they were anticipating further conflicts down the road. And then finally, I'd like to summarize a 12-page summary in less than 12 pages of the Illinois assault weapons ban. And the ban took effect already, January 10th. It was signed by Governor Pritzker. And beginning January 10th, it is illegal to manufacture, deliver, sell, or purchase any assault weapon attachment, 50 caliber rifle, 50 caliber cartridges in the state, with some exemptions. Most of the exemptions, if you look up the act, deal with police officers, retired police officers, military, those charged with guarding nuclear sites, medical facilities, and whatnot. So short of being a professional and requiring the use of such weapon, it is banned to the general public. The definition of an assault weapon, again, it's long and lengthy, but the easiest thing to keep in mind is that the rifle, you can only have a magazine with 10 rounds, and a handgun, a magazine with 15 rounds. Anything beyond that, this could be considered an assault weapon, and you cannot possess it. On January 10th, it is also illegal to manufacture, deliver, sell, purchase any large capacity ammunition feeding devices. Exemptions, as I said, peace officers, federal, state, local, wardens, superintendents, those who work in jails. Firearm sales. Anyone who is not a federally licensed firearm dealer must contact a federal firearm licensed dealer or the Illinois State Police before selling or transferring firearms. Records must now be kept for 20 years. And when you check on the sale, you have to check the validity of the transferee's FOID card number, and including a check with the National Instant Criminal Background Check. And anyone who receives a firearm, stun gun, taser must provide a record of the transfer within 10 days to a federally firearm licensed dealer. And again, the records, you must maintain the records, and you can charge a fee for that. You can also voluntarily submit a fingerprint with your fingerprint application for a FOID card. It's not required, but if you feel the need, you may voluntarily submit for fingerprints. A lot of questions with the assault weapons ban. All law enforcement associations are anticipating a challenge regarding the Second Amendment. Till that happens, these laws are to be enforced, and it generally falls to the state police and county sheriffs. If we run across it, as with other laws, we will enforce it, but it's not something we seek. Questions?
Thank you, Chief. Yeah, I'm going to chime in just because I have the right to.
Yes.
I'm kind of a redneck. I do enjoy guns. I have no problem with that thing. I have no problem with most of what's in it. Anyway. Clerk Brady, we have a consent agenda.
Consent agenda. All items listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the village board and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless the board member or citizen so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered after all other agenda items. 11A, resolution authorizing the adoption of revisions to the personal policy manual for the Village of Wheeling. 11B, resolution waiving competitive bidding and authorizing the purchase of a new Holbrook Fire Department extrication equipment from Jefferson Fire and Safety at the cost not to exceed $33,717. 11C, resolution authorizing the village president to execute a grant agreement regarding congregate meals provided by the Village of Wheeling in the amount of $72,652. 11D, resolution authorizing and directing the village manager to enact a service provider contract renewal with Municipal GIS Partners, Inc. in the amount of $155,790 for GIS support services in fiscal year 2023 as part of the ongoing GIS Consortium Interactive. 11E, ordinance prohibiting the use of groundwater as a portable water supply by the installation or use of the portable water supply wells. Sorry.
It's okay.
And by any other method within the certain area in the Village of Wheeling. 11F, resolution amending the authorization of the consent to a Class 6B incentive for 20 Lake Management LLC at 1111 Wheeling Road, previously granted under Resolution 22-056. 11G, resolution renewing the Village of Wheeling's annual subscription to the Northwest Central Dispatch Systems Joint Emergency Management System, GEMS, in the amount of $26,713.29 for fiscal year 2023. 11H, resolution approving a service agreement with the Salem Group for temporary clerical services in the amount not to exceed $30,000 in fiscal year 2023. 11I, resolution approving an agreement with Kairoba Group, Inc. for consulting services for the 2024 street light replacement program in the amount of $34,864. 11J, resolution accepting a proposal for engineering services from Gowal Hamilton Associates, Inc. for storm sewer assessments and mapping in the amount not to exceed $750,000 for fiscal year 2023. 11K, resolution approving a bond record-keeping report. 11L, resolution approving the Village of Wheeling's withdrawal from the Regional Emergency Dispatch Center effective December 31st, 2024.
Thank you, Clerk Brady. Any questions or comments? If we have no questions, I need a motion for an approval.
So moved.
Second.
Motion, Trustee Papantos, second, Trustee Vogel. Roll call, please.
Trustee Kruger,
Yes.
Trustee Rufato,
Yes.
Trustee Vogel,
Yes.
Trustee Papantos,
Yes.
Trustee Vito,
Yes.
Trustee Lang,
Yes.
President Horker.
Yes.
New business, the public hearing.
Good evening, everyone. This is kind of formal, so I'm going to read it. This is a public hearing for the public to make comments regarding the request for a 6B real estate tax assessment for 390 Holbrook Drive. A public hearing notice was published in the Daily Herald. Each member of the public shall have 5 minutes to make their comments. During this time, staff and the board will not answer questions. Comments should not be repetitive or argumentative. Are there any comments from the public? Going once, going twice. That being the case, I would be looking for a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Second, motion, Trustee Vogel, second, Trustee Rufato. Roll call, please.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
President Horker.
Yes.
13B, resolution consenting to a Cook County Class 6B real estate tax assessment classification for the property located at 390 Holbrook Drive in the Village of Wheeling, Illinois.
Mr. Clicker, this is our public hearing issue. What do we got?
Yes, as Clerk Brady said, this is a request for a 6B property tax classification for 390 Holbrook. It's an approximately 30,000 square foot, one-story industrial building that sits on about 1.28 acres of property. It's zoned I-1 and I-3 and was vacated, has been vacant since April 2020. The property owner is 3802 Potter LLC, and they have a consensual lease, or a contractual lease, sorry, with the Swan Analytical USA. Swan's current operations are located in a leased 9,500 square foot facility at 225 Larkin, and they are growing exponentially, and they need to expand their operations into a larger building. They currently have about 22 full-time employees, 12 of whom work at the Larkin facility. All of these employees will be switched over to the new facility at Holbrook, and they plan to hire additional full-time employees once they get into the new location. They anticipate eventually hiring over 20 new employees. So with that, they are planning on investing over $500,000 into the building, and this is a recommendation, staff would recommend approval of this request.
Thank you, Mr. Clicker. John Svandillis first, and then you, Mr. Lang.
I would just like to ask that after we answer any questions, any motion to approve be subject to the following conditions. A, the applicant shall obtain all necessary building and/or construction-related permits from the village for the construction of the proposed development. B, the subject property shall be reoccupied, operated, and maintained at all times in compliance with the applicable codes and ordinances of the village. C, all work performed in the proposed development must be conducted in a good and workmanlike manner with due dispatch and within any deadlines provided pursuant to this agreement or set forth in the village code. And finally, the total construction value for permits issued for the proposed improvements shall be no less than $500,000.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Svandillis. Trustee Lang?
Just a simple question, and maybe I just missed it. What is the nature of the business? What do they do?
Swan Analytical does, if you'd like to answer it better, probably a little better than I could.
Water.
You, sir, you have to come to the mic.
They do water analysis. It's a cool company.
Good evening. We do water quality monitoring. We do instrumentation for the water plants, nuclear plants, and municipal cities.
Great. Thank you.
Sure.
She might
Ma'am.
want to talk to you, too.
Ma'am. Take a minute. Don't run away. There may be other questions. Did you ever find your oldest piece of equipment in America for your party 2 years ago?
I don't think we found the oldest, we found the second oldest, not the first, the second.
It was a contest, I know. Did anybody else have any questions?
Okay, so I'm not sure if this is to you or to Director Clicker, the I-1, I-3 zoning is a bane in my side. Is that going to be a problem with the I-1, or are the building is zoned in two separate zoning?
It won't impact it in any way because all of their uses fall under the I-1.
Okay, so that won't be a problem as far as you're concerned. How long do you think it'll take before you're ready to move into the new building?
Our lease is up at the end of April, so we will be ready to move as soon as it's ready for us to move in.
So you can get all that work done in 3
yeah.
months?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That's impressive. I'm happy. I'm glad. And, thank you for staying and willing, so.
Thanks for having us.
For the record, for the minutes, what was your name again?
Colleen Shonis.
Thank you. No one else? If there are no other questions or comments, we need a motion to approve with the conditions as read by Mr. Svandelis.
So moved with conditions.
Trustee Kruger, second.
Second?
A little slow. Trustee Papantos, second. Roll call, please.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes, there you go. Good luck.
13C, ordinance granting special use approval to permit the operations of a massage establishment at 765-C West Dundee Road, Anna's Sunny Spa, docket number 2022-391.
Mr. Clicker, this is you.
Yes, this is Anna Sunny Spa. It's been there in existence for a while. It has new ownership. Per our ordinances and regulations, a new owner does need to go through the special use process again, which they are doing. They went in front of the Plan Commission on December 21st, and they did receive a recommendation of approval with the following condition: that the petitioner shall submit an application for business license to the Community Development Department upon demonstrating the petitioner and the business operation complies with all requirements of Chapter 4.74 of the Wheeling Municipal Code. A business license shall be obtained prior to operation of the massage establishment at the subject location.
Thank you, Mr. Clicker. Trustee Papantos, you had a question?
I just want to clarify one thing, Mr. Clicker. Since we're changing ownership, is the establishment now closed because there's a new owner?
Yeah, I own the building, so I'm here just to talk.
Could you please introduce yourself?
My name is Kamal Khan.
Hi.
And her name is?
荣真照，
Please say that again.
荣真照。
Thank you.
So there's a massage place there, and
Yes.
she's buying it, and there's a current massage license, and she's running it currently. As soon as the deal goes through, then she becomes the new tenant.
Okay, so it's still operating under the old ownership.
Yes, correct.
That's why I just want
Yeah.
to make
It's-
sure
so
that,
It's not closed, no, it's not.
well, we have to
Yeah.
go through our ordinances in order to make sure that she can be an owner, but,
Yes.
okay, thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Papantos. If there are no other questions, the condition is in the ordinance. The petitioner shall submit an application for business license to the Community Development Department upon just demonstrating that the petitioner and the business operations comply with all the requirements of Chapter 4.74 of the Wheeling Municipal Code. A business license shall be obtained prior to the operation of the massage establishment at the subject location. I need a motion including that condition.
So moved with condition.
Trustee Papantos, second.
Second.
Trustee Rufato, roll call, please.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes, congratulations, sir. Ma'am?
13D, resolution declaring a voluntary tax year 2021 surplus in the North Milwaukee Lake Cook Tax Increment Financial District Fund and authorizing the distribution of such to the Cook County Treasurer's Office.
Can you read E, F, and G as well, please?
13E, resolution declaring an intergovernmental agreement requiring tax year 2021 surplus in the South Milwaukee Manchester Drive Tax Increment Financing District Fund and authorizing the distribution of such to the Cook County Treasurer's Office. 13F, resolution declaring a voluntary tax year 2021 surplus in the South Milwaukee Manchester Drive Tax Increment Financing District Fund and authorizing the distribution of such to the Cook County Treasurer's Office. And 13G, declaring a voluntary tax year 2021 surplus in the Southeast Number 2 Tax Increment Financing District Fund and authorizing the distribution of such to the Cook County Treasurer's Office.
Thank you, Clerk Brady. Mr. Kaplan.
Thank you, President Horker. Before you tonight are 4 separate resolutions that declare both voluntary and, in one case, an intergovernmental agreement required surplus in the villages, 3 of the villages' TIF districts. These items usually come before you in December, but because of delays at the county in getting out second installment tax bills, we were not able to bring this to you until this month when we received the information we needed from the county. So I'll just go briefly through each one of them, and then I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. Item D is a voluntary declaration of surplus in the North Milwaukee and Lake Cook TIF district in the amount of $3 million. All of the voluntary declarations are of the money is available because they're not needed for TIF projects, incentives, debt service expenses, or other expenses of the TIF fund. So in the North Milwaukee TIF, it's a $3 million surplus. Of that amount, $405,057 would go to the Village of Wheeling's general fund and police and fire pension funds. Item E is a intergovernmental agreement required surplus, declaration of surplus in the South Milwaukee TIF district. Several years ago, the village entered into an IGA with the other taxing districts that requires it to declare 45% of the annual increment as surplus and distribute it to all of the overlapping taxing districts. This year, that amounts to $810,830. And of that amount, $109,477 would be returned to the village in the pension funds. Item F is a voluntary surplus declaration in the South Milwaukee TIF. Again, this is money that's not needed for any other TIF purpose. It amounts to $800,000, and of that amount, $108,015 would be returned to the village in its pension funds. And then the final item is G, which is related to the Southeast TIF district. It's a voluntary declaration of surplus in the amount of $1 million. And of that amount, $136,011 would be returned to the village's general fund and pension funds. I just wanted to point out that these programs began back in 2005 with the old Crossroads TIF district. And since that time, and including tonight's proposed declarations, the village has declared nearly $58 million in total surplus funds and returned that to the overlapping taxing districts. Most notably, approximately $37 million of that amount has gone to the 2 school districts in Wheeling, which I think is a good thing for the community. So I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
I agree, Mr. Kaplan. Questions from the board? Trustee Rufato.
Just a comment, and Director Kaplan mentioned it. So on these 4 distributions, District 21 received about almost $2.4 million, and District 214 received $1.2 million. And to Director Kaplan, I mean, $37 million over the years is quite sizable for the school districts, and it's good. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Rufato. If we have no other questions or comments, we're going to take these one at a time. I do need a motion to approve 13D.
So moved.
Trustee Vogel, second.
Second.
Trustee Vito, roll call, please.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes. I need a motion to approve E, the South Milwaukee Manchester TIF.
So moved.
Trustee Papantos, second.
Second.
Trustee Krueger, roll call, please.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes. Item F, the
So moved.
South Milwaukee Manchester.
Rufato,
Second.
Vogel, roll call, please.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes. Item last, 13G.
So moved.
Trustee Krueger, second.
Second.
Trustee Papantos, roll call, please.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes. Official communications. I have nothing this evening. Welcome back, everyone. It's smooth sailing, business as usual. Hope everybody's holidays were safe and healthy. Anyone?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
I just wanted to thank Chief Dunn. In the village newsletter that actually came to my house, you know, surprise, surprise, my mailman's delivering it. There was a little blurb about if you're in a left-hand turn lane and what to do so that the cars behind you miss the light every time. I really wish we could post it at the stoplights to get people to move so that, you know, they can put their phones down and maybe pay attention and keep moving. But there's a lot in the newsletter. If you have a chance, take a few minutes to read it. There's a lot of very interesting information besides the fact of new businesses in town, because there are a lot of them. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Papantos. If we have no other questions or comments, we have the bills for December 15th through January 11th, 2023. Need a motion to approve them.
So moved.
Motion, Trustee Papantos. Second, was that Trustee Rufato? Roll call, please.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes, we do have an executive session this evening for pending, probable, and/or imminent litigation. Therefore, I need a motion to recess into executive session and adjourn the regular meeting.
So moved.
Motion, Trustee Krueger, second.
Second.
Trustee Papantos, roll call, please.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes, there is a 5-minute recess. Recess. This will be a private session. Everybody gets to go home except us. We'll start up again at about 7:15-ish.